You ordered at 11:58 p.m. Chicken, beer, tteokbokki from 3 different restaurants. It is now 12:24 a.m. Everything is at your door. Not warm, hot, not assembled, plated, in real dishes. Dishes you will leave outside, and someone will collect tomorrow. You have been in other countries. You know what delivery looks like. This is not what delivery looks like. This is something else entirely. A city that decided waiting was unacceptable. That 30 minutes was already too long. That the gap between wanting something and having it should be as close to zero as human logistics can make it. You think Korea just has good delivery apps. It doesn't. Korea has a cultural operating system that made this infrastructure not just possible, but inevitable. This is K-Logic Field Test. And today, we decode the delivery culture protocol. Korea's delivery market is one of the most developed in the world. The numbers are striking. Korea has one of the highest per capita delivery order rates globally. The average delivery time in Seoul consistently beats major cities by significant margins. The infrastructure includes not just food delivery, but same-day grocery delivery, dawn delivery for e-commerce ordered before midnight, and the specific Korean innovation of the real dish delivery system, where food arrives in actual ceramic bowls and plates that the delivery service collects the following day. The standard explanation focuses on technology, Korea's early smartphone adoption, the competitive delivery app market, the density of Seoul that makes short delivery routes economically viable. These factors are real. They are not sufficient. Tokyo is as dense as Seoul. London adopted smartphones as early as Korea. Neither city produced a delivery culture that operates at Korean intensity. What produced Korean delivery culture is Pali-Pali, the cultural operating system that treats every unit of time as precious and that has, over decades, encoded the expectation of speed into every consumer infrastructure it touched. Korean consumers did not simply adopt delivery because it was convenient. They demanded delivery at a speed that the rest of the world considered impossible, and the market built the infrastructure to meet that demand because the Pali-Pali operating system had already calibrated their expectation of what fast means. The 30-minute delivery window that Korean consumers consider standard would be considered extraordinary in most markets. The dawn delivery that Korean e-commerce platforms offer for orders placed before midnight is a service that exists because Korean consumers found next-day delivery too slow. This is not consumer preference. It is Pali-Pali expressed as market demand, and the delivery infrastructure is its most visible physical form. Protocol 1. The real dish system as Jeong infrastructure. The most distinctively Korean element of Korean delivery culture is not the speed. It is the dishes. When you order from a Korean restaurant that delivers, the food often arrives in real ceramic bowls, the same dishes the restaurant uses for dine-in customers. You eat. You place the empty dishes outside your door. The delivery rider or restaurant staff collects them the following day. This system is logistically inefficient by every standard of modern food delivery. It requires a return trip. It requires dish management. It adds operational complexity. Every global delivery platform has moved toward disposable packaging precisely to eliminate this complexity. Korean delivery culture maintained the real dish system because it encodes something that disposable packaging eliminates. The specific social quality of a meal that arrives as if someone cooked it for you rather than packaged it for transport. The ceramic bowl is not just a container. It is a Jeong signal, the specific Korean cultural communication that says, this meal was made with the intention of being eaten properly, from a real dish, the way food should be eaten. In a country where food is one of the primary Jeong accumulation mechanisms, where sharing a meal is a social act, where the quality of the eating experience carries social meaning. The real dish system preserves the Jeong dimension of the meal even when the meal is delivered rather than shared in person. The dish that arrives at your door at midnight is not just food. It is a small transmission of care, the restaurant's Jeong reaching you through the delivery infrastructure. Protocol 2. The rider as Pali-Pali embodied. The Korean delivery rider is the most visible human embodiment of Pali-Pali in Korean urban life. Not because they are reckless, though the speed of Korean delivery riders is a consistent subject of both admiration and concern. Because the specific professional identity of the Korean delivery rider encodes Pali-Pali values with unusual clarity. Speed as competence, time as the primary resource, the compression of the gap between order and delivery as the measure of professional excellence. The rider who arrives in 23 minutes when the app estimated 30 is not just efficient. They are running the Pali-Pali protocol at professional level, treating every minute of the delivery window as a variable to be optimized, navigating the city with the specific Korean social intelligence of someone who understands that the customer's time is more valuable than the rider's comfort. But the rider system also reveals the shadow of Pali-Pali applied to human labor. The delivery platform economy that Korean Pali-Pali demand created has produced working conditions that the speed requirement makes structurally dangerous. The pressure to maintain delivery times that Korean consumers consider standard, times that are only achievable through the kind of urban navigation that carries real physical risk, falls on workers whose compensation is calibrated to the speed the market demands. The 23-minute delivery is remarkable. The conditions that produce it are complicated. Both things are true simultaneously, and both are outputs of the same Pali-Pali operating system applied to the same consumer infrastructure. If this field test is showing you how Pali-Pali reshapes every infrastructure it touches, subscribe to K-Logic. The delivery is never just delivery. The system is always underneath. Korean delivery culture reveals the specific way that Pali-Pali reshapes infrastructure when it operates as consumer expectation rather than just cultural value. In most markets, delivery speed is a premium feature, something you pay extra for, something the market provides as an option. In Korea, delivery speed is a baseline expectation, something the market must provide at standard price or lose the customer entirely. This difference is not about technology. It is about what the operating system of the consumer population considers acceptable. Korean consumers, whose relationship with time has been calibrated by decades of Pali-Pali culture, experience a 45-minute delivery window as a failure of the service rather than as a reasonable expectation. The market responds to this by building the infrastructure required to meet the expectation. The rider networks, the dark kitchen systems, the logistics optimization that makes 25-minute delivery economically viable at scale. The delivery infrastructure is not the cause of Korean delivery culture. It is the effect, the physical output of a consumer population whose Pali-Pali operating system has encoded a specific relationship with waiting time into every market they participate in. This is the pattern K-Logic keeps finding. Pali-Pali doesn't just produce speed. It produces infrastructure at the scale required to deliver speed as a standard experience. The Seoul Metro, the delivery network, the convenience store open at 3 a.m. Each one is Pali-Pali's demand made physical. Every society draws a line somewhere between wanting something and having it. Most societies draw that line at a day. Some draw it at an hour. Korea drew it at 25 minutes, and then built the entire urban logistics infrastructure required to honor that line at scale, at midnight, in the rain, for ceramic dishes that need to be collected tomorrow. This is not efficiency for its own sake. It is Pali-Pali's most consumer-facing expression, the cultural insistence that the gap between desire and fulfillment should be as small as human systems can make it. For the traveler who orders delivery in Korea for the first time, who watches the app countdown reach zero before they expected it, who opens the door to find real dishes and hot food from a restaurant that had no reason to try this hard. The K-Logic Red is simple. You are not receiving good service. You are receiving the physical output of a cultural operating system that decided, decades before the smartphone existed, that waiting was something to be engineered out of human experience wherever possible. The rider who arrives in 23 minutes is not exceptional. They are the standard, and the standard is Pali-Pali, applied to hunger. At midnight, in real dishes. If the delivery culture protocol decoded something you experienced in Korea, hit like and subscribe to K-Logic, because the fastest systems reveal the most about the cultures that built them. K-Logic field test complete. The blueprint was always visible. You just needed to check the delivery time.